Okay, why are parents or educators moving towards this? I think having taught all the different boards, as an educator, I have to say I just simply love teaching the IB board. For one, it is like rooted in real life. It gives the teachers the flexibility and the freedom. We are preparing the students for a world that we don't know will exist tomorrow. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to look like. Imagine if you go for a job, nobody really cares how much you know. They do care what you're going to do with what you know. I think they're personal choices and not the board. It's not a board choice. No board tells you that you can't go abroad.
Correct.
Yeah, so first let me just look at the paradigm. When you say a lot of schools, it's like sab log bolte hain. It's like who are all these sab log, right? Yes. So a lot of schools come in the kind of circles that we move in.
Right.
You have to realize that school, education is national, and so the bulk of the schools are local. Right. And so let's just clarify that. Okay, why are parents or educators moving towards this? I think having taught all the different boards, as an educator, I have to say I just simply love teaching the IB board. For one, it is like rooted in real life. It gives the teachers the flexibility and the freedom. We are preparing the students for a world that we don't know will exist tomorrow. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to look like. Let's just take an example of technology, right? I mean, just in January, The Economist did this whole article on childhood, and they talked about technology and how to embrace technology. And they were saying that when the radio and the television came out, they were feared as disrupting family life. Yeah. Today, the television is your metaphoric fireplace where the family gathers together to watch something. So similarly, we can't hide or we can't shy away from technology. We need to embrace it. Will technology ever replace a human being? In my heart, I can tell you no. And I really, truly believe that. But can I use technology like we're doing right now? Look at the outreach that we're having. So similarly, the IB schools give you that flexibility to look not only at technology, but to look at forward-thinking methodologies. So for example, we are not only teaching content, we're teaching understanding and we're teaching skills. Knowledge is locked in space and time. So for example, if I were to ask you what you remember about the Indus Valley civilization in your school, what comes to mind?
I remember the public baths.
You remember the public baths. Don't you remember that dancing girl and those seals?
Yes.
But do you remember anything beyond that? No. If the same idea was to be taught today, so you see it's locked with Indus Valley. What would we do here? First of all, we would look at the whole understanding of river valleys and why do people settle by river valleys? How do civilizations develop over a period of time? So what is the difference between a settlement and a civilization? What are the attributes or characteristics of a civilization? What is it that transfers over time? What are the artifacts that we look at as historians that help us piece together the story of the civilization? I'm no longer restricting it to the Indus Valley civilization. I can apply this to the Egyptian, to the Chinese civilization. I can apply it today because I can actually look at what are some of the artifacts, what are the footprints that we are leaving behind, whether carbon or real or digital, we are leaving footprints. Absolutely. And going forward, history is not observable. So somebody will recreate our lives based on the footprints that we leave. Now imagine a little child, whether in grade 4 or in grade 12. The grade 4 will understand civilization as a story. The grade 12 will analyze it and say, history just can never be observed, it can only be reconstructed. So what does this mean? So if you're asking me as an education system, some of us, when we taught in ICSE schools, may have done this intuitively. Okay, I was fortunate enough to be in an ICSE school where we were encouraged as teachers to do creative things and to ensure that students, engaged in true learning. But everybody doesn't do that. Here in an IB school, we all collaborate. So that's the understanding piece of it. So we're going beyond knowledge and teaching understanding. We're also teaching skills. So what I did right now was I enumerated some critical thinking skills. I talked about some analytical skills. We don't have to narrow it down and think a skill is only doing a good map and coloring within the boundaries. That's not That is a skill, but skills go beyond that. So there are also the soft skills. We also get students to, for example, I just did a class today on trying to understand whether intelligence is inborn or whether it can be developed. So the first thing I did is I asked them to take a stance, and I said, go to different corners of the room. And then I said, I want 3 reasons for why you took this stance. Now that's a critical thinking skill.
Yeah.
And then I gave them an article and I told them, I want you to summarize this article in 12 words. So the first thing the kids told me, it's very difficult. So I said it would be difficult to summarize in 1,000 words. But the point is, what are you going to pick up? You are going to pick up the key ideas in this article. And yes, I'm saying 12 words. If you want 14, we will look at that. But I don't want you rambling. I want you to be able to pick up what are the key issues and put it together. So see, that's the kind of skill that you would need. Imagine if you go for a job, nobody really cares how much you know. They do care what you're going to do with what you know.
Right.
So do you get the difference?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just thinking, like, why were we not taught like this? Or why didn't this exist when we were growing up?
Bombay University, HR College, Xavier's College, Delhi University. Right. Those are the local universities. We now have liberal arts universities like Ashoka, Flames, Kriya.
Yes.
Sure. I think we need to understand a very fundamental question, and why is it that students want to go abroad?
Yes.
Is it only after the IBDP? There were students who were going even after HSC or ISC. Correct. Or CBSE.
Right.
They're going because they aspire for a different kind of education, which earlier was not available here. But with the coming in of universities like Ashoka and Kriya and Flames, there are students who are now looking at wanting to stay back because they are also experiencing a similar liberal arts kind of education at the undergraduate level. So for example, in my time, I only went abroad for my master's because it was unheard of to go for undergraduate. In my children's time, they went at undergraduate level. Today, there are kids who want to go abroad to do even high school, but the numbers are dwindling because we do have options of good high schools over here. So to answer your myth, do you have to go abroad after you do the IB? It's absolutely no. I can give you an example of one of our brightest students who did the DP and then chose to do physics at St. Xavier's College and did perfectly well, and today is doing a master's in Germany in physics. He was very, very clear that that is what he wanted to do. There were others who were clear that they wanted to go abroad and pursue something like fashion design, and so they felt that they could do that better. I think they're personal choices and not the board. It's not a board choice. No board tells you that you can't go abroad.
Correct.